Look at that, 19,000 Effie a tick. Hello everybody and welcome back to some more Stoneblock 4 today. We are going to be getting a better source of power because while these iron furnaces are nice, their generation is just way too slow. So what we want is something that'll generate faster. The thing I want is going to be the thermo generator. What the thermo generator is it'll take a heat source block underneath it and a fluid to cool it, and it'll generate power. And the higher difference between the two will make a huge difference. Say, if I were to use a block of ignitium, the thing that I spent last episode trying to get, so that way we could get this. The best cooling would be time fluid, but I don't really have that, and I don't really think I could get that at all. So, oh yeah, no, there'd be a whole setup of things that I would probably have to do. For right now, though, the best thing I can do is use Dragon's Breath. But before we worry about any of that, the first thing we need to do is actually make the thermo generator. Now, to make it, I need to go through a whole line of upgrades, as the best ones that we can have the highest possible transference, the nitro, is at the highest level, so I need to go down a whole line of things to be able to make these. And since I want to be able to make multiples of them, I set it up to some auto crafts. There's still one tiny problem, though. The main part of Powah, which is like the crystals and all their central blocks, things that you would make in the orb. So before we can do any of this, we need to automate. Say it with me now. The orb. So for us to automate the orb, oh wait, I said that wrong. The orb. Dang it, now I'm gonna get sent to my death. Oh no. Yes, hello, I am the new cookie here to entertain you all today. So, for us to be able to automate the orb... Okay, I'm not doing that. That was stupid. For us to automate it, though, we're actually going to do a few things. So, firstly, I'm going to need another pattern provider, which I have also set up these things up to auto-crafting. We are also going to want to get ourselves an ME interface, which that's just going to take a formation core and an annihilation core. So then we can go ahead and make ourselves our ME interface. Our pattern provider is all ready and raring to go. And then the last thing that we're going to need for this automation is just an item transporter. It's not hard to get. I just need a pity machine frame and a piston. Those are the only things that are left. Everything else, if you don't have those things set up to automation, what are you even doing with your life? So there we go. Those are basically the core blocks for this thing to be automated. Okay, so I just set it up over here right next to all this stuff. So we just have a cable which goes out into our ME interface, which then puts our pattern provider here underneath the orb. Now, for us to make it so that this will only put in one recipe at a time, because otherwise it'll get funky, we want to go ahead and set this thing to blocking mode. Do not push crafting ingredients if inventory contains a pattern input. And then we also want to lock crafting until primary crafting result is returned. Okay, there we go. That's the one that we want. Then after that, I can just go ahead and put in all of these patterns into here. And then the last thing that we need to do to set this baby up is to just put our item transporter there, and then just right click this one, so that way it'll now start transporting out from here. And that should only do it if I have these things properly. Actually, I should probably whitelist the ending recipes also just to be safe. Okay, well, turns out I can't do it from JEI, so we're just gonna have to hope that I don't need to whitelist it. But we should be good now. So if I just look up the energizing steel, then we can go ahead and send this through. And it doesn't actually need me to do the whitelist. That's good. So now for the final step, which is to just give these things power. What the heck is folks? No, flax. Oh my gosh, my brain doesn't want to do things. Okay, but there we go. Now for the last step for this, we just need to go ahead and put our flux point up top, and then we could put our energizing rods all around this. Now I could use these ones over here, but those are kind of weak. What we really want is gonna be these guys. Oh, and one of them already did it. That is amazing. So yeah, these are the highest level ones. I can buy them from the Echo shops. It cost me an arm and a leg, so this thing had better work. But there we go. Now we've gotten ourselves our energized steel. So it all works out well enough. Now, there's only one thing left for me to test, the nitro crystal. Let's go ahead and send that recipe in. It's going to craft the blazing crystals first. So if I go ahead and throw that in, Did I? Okay, I did send the recipe. So here is what I have learned. The crafting here is still locked because it didn't import this with like an import bus. So if I go ahead and just put never, okay, there we go. Now it still functions on its own. Okay, I was so worried as to why that thing wasn't working, but there we go. And even the nitro crystals work. That is beautiful. Alrighty. So now the only thing left that we need to do, we need to craft our thermo generators. Now, let me look how many blocks of ignium can I make, because I did get a bunch of those. So let's go ahead and craft all these down. 14. It's gonna take a whole lot of stuff, but it is very doable. Let's go ahead and send her in. And it just starts the process. Now we've gotten ourselves our thermo generators. But that begs the question, where on earth are we going to put 14 of these guys? I'll show you something. In between episodes, I got really sick and I got bored one day. So I made this. Look at this place. I made it so that way I could expand out to further areas. And I also just made all these like different paths and stuff like that. And it's just like frame blocks came in real handy because I wanted to give it like a little depth thing. And I'm really proud of this. It came out really nicely. I just need to dig out 14 holes. And I don't know if it would be better or worse if these guys are checkerboarded or not. So, we're gonna checkerboard them. Although I am now realizing that checkerboarding is not at all what I did, and I just sort of made it a grid, but I mixed things up in my head, so you know what? This is fine. So here we go. Now I can just go ahead and put all these guys down onto here, and it's not going to show any semblance of power generation yet. We still need to input the cooling for this guy, which is also something else that I can do down here. This can really just be the power room. We can have all the power stuff coming in down here. And I could probably make a draconic energy core going either at the top. Like if I wanted to, I could totally put an energy core just up here so that way I go down, I look up, and then there's just my giant battery. But we've already made that in the past, so I'll make that in between episodes. Unless I decide to make a bigger one, I can briefly show it. But for right now, here we go. We've got the generators all put into place. Now all that we need to do is get the coolant in. How are we going to get the dragon breath into a fluidable form where I can do this? That's where this item drain is going to come into play. Now, it's not hard, just need iron bars and a copper casing, which is literally just a stripped log. It's so easy. Now, what we would just need to do is we could go ahead and take this baby right here. I'm only gonna put it here temporarily. We could take a dragon's breath and then just pour that over to here. And there we go. Now we've got some dragon's breath here in liquid form. If I were to go ahead and grab myself 3 more of these guys, we could then get ourselves a bucket's worth of it. Now that we've gotten into a fluid, what we need is a tank for it to go into. The fluid tanks from Create will serve that well enough. Now, what's really cool about these Create fluid tanks is even though they can already hold a lot of fluids, we can also expand them. So if I do it like that, I can make this thing taller. Alternatively, do I have my wrench on me? I do. Since this is a Create, I can just do it like this. Alternatively, I could also just make it wider. And then I could just go ahead and take a fluid output thing right over here. And I think that these can work like this. So if I go ahead and just connect that, yeah, there we go. This is where I'm going to do something. I need an ender tank. Do I have any of those? I do not. Okay. So the ender tanks are not hard to get. It's just some obsidian, some blaze gold, and a singularity tank in our world engine at Otir I already have with a manageable amount of power. All right, I got the ender tank, so now I could totally put this thing on here. And before I make it so, why did I say totally? Before I make this thing have the fluids inside of it, there's something else I wanted to demonstrate. Remember that dye automation that we had back when we did the chickens? Well, it can be useful here. If I were to go ahead and configure this to say purple for Dragon's Breath, we can go ahead and put any one of these colors and make it purple. So now these guys will have channels. I will go ahead and put this. Okay, apparently it's also going to need fluid pipes for this to work. So I can go ahead and just slap that baby on there. There we go. Now the Dragon's Breath is inside of here on the purple channel. But if we go down here and place one of these guys on, it is not configured. Until I make this thing have purple, it will not work. Look at that, 19,000 FE a tick. Oh my gosh. Now, again, the ultimate amount that can be generated from this is not as high as it is with these guys. However, the amount per tick is way higher, and that's what's important. And it's possibly a little bit more consistent. So look at that. That is just awesome. And I guess this is also a good reason for me to have done it like this, as now I can save myself on flux points. Although maybe a checkerboard pattern would have been better. Like, have it be here, 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 here. Because then I could do one per each slot. I may have done this in a bit of an unoptimal way. That's fine. I haven't started putting anything in it yet. I can go ahead and reorganize this. So I'm gonna go ahead and get all of these guys set up. And I'm gonna go ahead and reorganize this. I'm gonna go ahead and automate putting the Dragon's Breath into here because that's just a whole other thing that we need to do. And I'll show you all the final product.
Eventually.
And here it all is. Look at it. So I moved my Dragon's Breath thing down here, and I actually added 2 more heads, which I could buy from the shop. I was only able to afford 2 of them though, and now I'm broke. So yeah, this better work out well. And these guys only generate 1 bottle every 10 seconds. So the fact that we're going down this little bit concerning, but you know, it is fine as all of my guys are full now. So that is good. I haven't started sending them out to generate power in the network yet, but at the very least, it should help work out well enough. And I am still going to have the other generators still active because I mean, you know, free power, why not? So all of it should hopefully be able to coalesce into this one thing. All that really matters now is just hooking these guys up to the Zap Zap network and also being sure to bypass the limit because, you know, obviously we don't want to have a limitation on this. Granted, I'm pretty sure that the innate limitations inside of these guys are smaller than this guy's limitation, so I might not even need to do that. But on the off chance that I do, you know, you just want to have it all be well and good. So yeah. Here we go. We've gotten ourselves our new power generation. There is one thing that I did add also that I didn't mention. I added a 15th thermo generator just for the look of it because it ended off like this when I changed it all up to the checkerboard pattern, which I can't believe I predicted by accidentally calling a grid a checkerboard. Like, can we just address that for a second? I predicted the thing that I was gonna do, not knowing that that was what I was gonna do, but here we go. And I can always add more of these guys, hoping that the Dragon's Breath generation can handle it. It really should only come under stress once I start doing really big power stuff, which really is just the world engine. Like, let's be honest here, that thing's a powerhouse. So for right now, all I really want to worry about is opening up today's chance cube. Yes, this is that part of the show I risk my life by opening a chance cube for all your entertainment. Let's see what happens today. Cake. But is it a lie? Now we have a cake on an altar. I feel like Stampy would be pleased with this. This is my childhood right here. Alrighty, GG. I like this. Please don't explode. So did you like this video? Good. Then be sure to check out our last Stoneblock 4 video where we fought the Ignis boss. Bye-bye!